Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. What we'll be doing today is going through a series of practices. Mindfulness, which is a little more focusing, awareness, which is more expansive, and then compassion, which is connecting ourselves with the world, with others, with engaging. So, to do that, one thing that's helpful is because we're going to do part of this practice, most of the practice with our eyes open, it's helpful to arrange your seat or your device so that you are not looking straight into the screen. That'll be helpful for you. But to begin with, we're going to start with getting ourselves settled and centered. We spend most of our time with our mind flying around, going all over the place, and our body's trying to keep up with our mind, going here and there. So this is a nice timeout. We do this sitting because if you are lying down, you tend to fall asleep, and if you're standing up, there's the impetus to move is still there. So taking a good seat, either on a cushion on the floor or on a chair, and having a good posture so the breathing flows naturally and in an upright way so you don't get sleepy, is how we begin. And you can let your eyes gently close because it's easier to feel your body that way. Our sense perceptions work in the way that one is in the foreground and the other goes to the background. That's why sometimes if people are sipping on something and tasting it, they might close their eyes, or listening to music, close their eyes, so that they can focus on that one. So let your eyes gently close and focus on your body. Really sink into the seat that you're on. Feel your sit bones sinking into the seat, and feel the balance. Is more weight on one side than the other? Even them out. You can either have your legs crossed in front of you, or if you're in a chair, you can sit with your feet flat on the floor. Lower legs perpendicular to the ground, feet about hip width apart. But if your knees are higher than your hips, it puts a little strain on your lower back. So you can just cross your legs there at your ankles, let your knees open up so that they're lower than your hips. And that gives you a nice stable base. Your spine upright but not rigid. And feel like the back of your head is an extension of your spine, that it goes straight up. And if the back of your head is going straight up and not tilted down or forward or lean or chin sticking out, but an extension of your spine, your chin will come in naturally, and there'll be a really good flow of the air in through your nostrils, straight down your windpipe and into your lungs. We're going to be breathing, when we work with our breathing, we're going to be breathing in through our nostrils. And as we breathe out, mainly through the nostrils, but some can come out our mouth as well. When you have your upright posture, let your upper arms hang straight down from the shoulders, so you're not reaching forward or pulling back. And with the upper arms, again, hanging straight down perpendicular to the ground, you swivel your hands up, and your forearms kind of go along your thighs with your hands palm down on your thighs just behind your knees. One thing that's helpful for your whole posture is let the center of your sternum, your breastbone, feel like it moves slightly up and forward. I'll turn this a little bit. So instead of sitting slumped like this, Rather than pull your shoulders back, just raise this up a little bit. And your shoulders come back naturally. You might even feel a tiny pinch between your shoulder blades behind you. Your chest opens up and you'll feel your breathing really open up. So it's good for your health as well. Your teeth aren't clenched, your jaw is relaxed, but not hanging wide open. So your lips are either very, very lightly touching or very slightly parted. And feel your whole body. Now that you've established your posture, feel how the breath goes in and out. Your body breathes by itself. Just let it breathe without controlling it. Be more an observer of your breath. And feel the depth front to back of your body. We're not just two-dimensional beings like we see in a mirror or a photograph or on our screen. We have some depth. Feel that front to back. And we have a lot of residual tension that we carry around with us, so we're going to just let that melt. We have some tension that we use to hold our posture, like raising our breastbone and keeping our spine upright, the back of our head extending that way. But other than that, let everything else soften around it. Your face muscles, your scalp, ears, your jaw. Oh, and I didn't mention your tongue can either just rest naturally in your mouth, or if you're comfortable with it, you can let it just drift up and the tip of your tongue rest on the upper palate just behind your front teeth. It's said that reduces the flow of saliva when you have it that way. So you can try that out. Soften your jaw muscles, your neck muscles. Let your shoulders just hang. You may be surprised that you thought they were relaxed and they were still held up. Just let them hang without pushing them down. Upper arms, chest, and upper back. Again, only the tension you need to hold your posture. Rib cage all around, stomach, lower back and deep belly. From our stomach down, right all the way down into our pelvis. Often we don't realize that we're clenching that whole lower part of our torso. Without losing your posture, just let it soften. Let it relax. It's going to be okay. You don't have to clench and be ready for anything. Hips, thighs, forearms, and hands. Let them soften. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. And now return your attention to your deep core. Feel the three-dimensional, the depth, front to back and side to side, and how it expands as the breath comes in, contracts as the breath goes out. Internally, it'll feel like your deep belly is filling as the breath comes in, emptying as the breath goes out. Now we know the air doesn't go all the way down there. It's your diaphragm pushing down to bring the air in and pulling up to expel the air. And when it pushes down, you feel like your deep belly is full. When it pulls up, your deep belly is emptied. Rest your mind on that feeling There's a natural flow if you just let your body breathe. Kind of like the gentle surf coming up the beach and flowing back in. Up the beach and flowing back in to the ocean. Again, let your body breathe. I promise it will do it without you controlling it. You can notice if it's a deep or a shallow breath, short or long, but just observe it rather than control it. And that's where we're going to rest our mind for a few minutes. But we want to be aware of the space that we're sitting in. So let your eyes open just about halfway. Gazing down below your eyelids, not focused on anything particular, just soften your gaze so that there's just an awareness of the space your body is sitting in. Your posture and your breathing. Even though that's your primary focus, you may hear some sounds from around you, have physical sensations, and thoughts may come and go through your mind, like little flickers of thought. Just let all of that happen around your breathing, background to your breathing. But at some point, a thought may grab your attention and take you away into a series of thoughts, into a daydream. And at a certain point, like a bubble, that'll pop, and you'll find yourself back on your seat, in the present, breathing. Reinvigorate your posture, reconnect with the deep belly breathing feeling, and continue your practice without judgment, because the mind does wander and come back. And we'll do that for a few minutes. If you've gotten sleepy and your eyes have closed, just reinvigorate your posture and just let your eyes be open naturally, looking out into the room. Feel the whole path of the breath coming in your nostrils, down to your deep belly, and back out again. If your mind has been very, very busy and off in thoughts, keep your gaze low and feel more detail about the sensation in your deep belly, starting to fill, filling, and full, starting to empty, emptying, and empty. We'll do that for a minute or two more. As the gong fades, just refresh yourself. Move a little if you need to. Let go of any intention. And again, when we do these practices, it's not to make things be a particular way, but to see what happens. We become aware of how our mind wanders, comes back to the present. And as we relax with just being in the present, with our breathing, and have ease, then our being able to do so extends by itself, little by little by little. It's not something we can force. We just become more familiar with being present and not needing to dwell on the past or get ahead of ourselves. And when you're ready, you can reinvigorate your posture. And now let your eyes be naturally open. With that good posture, your gaze will naturally be just slightly below horizon, not looking all the way out, but slightly below, and aware of the space in the room around you. In front, to the sides, above. If you soften your gaze, open up your peripheral vision, you can see your lap below you, maybe even some of the ceiling above, everything in the room, in front and to the sides, without moving your eyes. You can move your awareness around the room and notice the scope of your peripheral vision. And connecting with the space, we use the breath as a way to connect with the space. Just the out breath, going out, mixing with the atmosphere. The breath goes out, dissolves, and becomes one with the atmosphere. In the same way, as the breath goes out, let your awareness be less focused on this here, on yourself, and more on what's around you, what's out there. Now that includes in your awareness the feeling of the breath coming back in, but again, let your body breathe by itself. Out, open, and rest in awareness of the space around you. Out, open, rest in that awareness of the space as the body breathes itself in. And as you get familiar with the breath going out and your awareness opening up to the space, at some point you may be able to just rest in that open space and not need to reconnect with the breath going out. The out and in breath just become part of what's happening in the whole environment, a unified field of experience. Sight, sound, bodily sensation, smells, tastes, including thoughts that come and go through your mind. Let all of that be as it is and come and go as it will. And again, if a thought grabs you, takes you along with it, into a series of thoughts, into a daydream, at some point it will pop. When it does, just smile and go, wandering. You're already back. Reconnect with the out-breath. With your posture, out-breath, out, open, dissolve, and rest in the space. We'll do that for a few minutes. As the gong fades, refresh your posture a bit. Maintain the same gaze, soft gaze, like looking at a landscape, open to the space. But now turn your attention to thoughts. Make them the object of your attention. It's as if you're looking inward. And notice how the next thought arises, appears in your mind for however long it stays, is replaced by another thought, or just disappears. Make your thought process itself the object of your attention. And again, if the thought actually takes your mind away into a daydream, just smile. Come back, take a couple of breaths, and refocus on looking at thoughts that appear in your mind. We'll do that for a minute or two. And again, relax, refresh your posture. Now we've done mindfulness and awareness practice, and have a sense of presence and when our mind wanders, being able to return to our intended object of attention. This last section is more of a contemplation, and you can do it either with your eyes open or closed. we're going to connect with heartfelt feelings. So at some point, if it's helpful, you can even put your hand, palm down towards your chest, over your heart center, not your left side, but in the center at heart level, what we would call the heart center, the center of feeling, center of caring, kindness, and compassion. So for this practice, sometimes it's helpful to start with someone that you care about, that you know what they're going through. If they're suffering, you know what makes them happy. And because you care about them, it's easy to feel the wish that they could be free of their struggle and suffering, and they could have contentment, ease, relief, and happiness. So you can ride the breath with these, and as you breathe in, focus on the wish. I wish them to be free of suffering and struggle. Breathe out. I wish I could send them relief, well-being, and happiness. Wish I could take from them their struggle. Wish I could send them well-being. When you focus on what they're suffering, you feel it yourself in your empathy. When you send them well-being, you feel the well-being you're sending them. As best you can, expand that to others. Everyone you know, everyone you've ever met, humans and animals, all beings on this planet we share. Want well-being and happiness, want to be free from suffering and struggle. Have the intention as you breathe in, wish that you could relieve everyone, all beings, of the suffering and struggle. Breathe out, wish you could send them relief and well-being. As best you can, extend that out beyond to all beings. We all share this planet. We all living beings have the same impetus to want health and well-being, to be free from suffering and struggle. And connecting with your heart of kindness and caring, know that you are also one of those beings. So that as you breathe in, that you can relieve yourself of the suffering and struggle. As you breathe out, you can send yourself healthiness and well-being. And now, particularly for the tumultuous times that we're in, we can go deeper. The source of all the suffering in the world are the poisonous emotions like hatred, fear, anger, intolerance, prejudice, greed, lust for power, selfishness. So imagine that as you breathe in, at least the wish that as you breathe in, like poison from a snake bite, you could draw all these poisonous emotions out of all beings. And as you breathe out, you can replace it and fill them with love, understanding, kindness, caring, acceptance, tolerance, appreciation. And now let go of what you're imagining of your contemplation. Let's regather ourselves. Lower your gaze. Connect with your posture. Simply be present with your breathing, filling you and emptying from you. So thank you for your practice, your kind attention, and that concludes our session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.